No, I'm not at my house, and yes, my shirt is covered in dog hair. What are you gonna do about it? You're still watching. Another year is done. As a news channel, it's time to round out some of the more important news of the year. We're going to talk about some of the best moments and some of the worst moments in the world of Weiss Schwarz. Honestly, there's a lot of good in this because 2023 was a solid year for the card game. There is definitely more good than bad. So, let's get started. The introduction of Bushi Navi. Bushi Navi has been out in the Japanese market for a good while. When they introduced it in the English market, everyone was excited to use it. This is a simple way to run tournaments such as registration and pairings, especially the pairings part. This tournament season was the first use of Bushi Navi, and from personal experience, it was a blast and super easy to use. The tournaments went super fast because we didn't have to wait around for the pairings. God, the QR codes, I can never go back. And waiting for the judges to pick up the slips. I love using it. Go check out the BCS video that I uploaded, link at the top for more information on that. So with that being said, the early release of Bushi Navi being rough. Damn, they had to get some of these kinks fixed. Their early app was super buggy. You weren't able to find any of the shops outright. Like, there was no search function to actually just look up the shops. You had to use search tags to find what you were looking for. Also, the push notifications didn't work. They just flat out didn't work. Also, more importantly, the MMS registration didn't work as well, so you couldn't even register. To clarify, when you make an account on Bushi Navi, they send you a text message just for extra security. Those just never showed up. Again, I did make a whole video about the first time that we had to use Bushi Navi at a shop tournament, and what was a little bad was that we had to register there, and it really set the tournament back like about an hour or so. But after all of that, smooth sailing. So thanks Shiyoko, they got all of that fixed. And speaking of the BCS, California BCS attendance being high. Generally, just all the US events being high, essentially. Now this could be because of HoloLive, Azure Lane, and Guilty Gear bringing in more of the casual players. The meta is doing super well right now. We're getting a lot of new series bringing in newer players, and just the Weiss Schwarz scene in general is in a solid place. Content creators being hit up for the Guilty Gear reveals. Guilty Gear was a super hype set. To help broaden the appeal of Weiss Schwarz, Bushiroad hit up different content creators to help do those reveals. It's not just Weiss Schwarz people this time. They had some VTubers, pack openers, as well as Shadowverse people doing reveals for Guilty Gear. This is great to reach more people who are not directly involved in Weiss Schwarz to broaden their appeals. And no, I didn't get asked to do reveals. You can stop asking. The fall restriction list. Now, this list kind of came out of nowhere. There was a lot of speculation what was going to be on the list, and I did do a whole video on that. You could go check it out if you haven't yet. So, MTI was unrestricted. Gouda and Overlord actually avoided the restriction, and Alice did get hit. What was more interesting was the slime restriction. This restriction is exclusive to the English edition of Weiss Schwarz. Also, another interesting thing to note was the division that this list made. This is probably the most divisive list that Weiss Schwarz has ever made. Bushiroad made post after post after post trying to explain why the list is the way that it was. And I do like these transparencies. And please remember that Bushiroad hires like one person to do all of the socials. So let's give him an easier time. Again, like I mentioned, did a whole video. Link at the top if you want to know more about that restriction list. Ayame emergency ban list. Here's another ban list entry. In summer, we had an emergency ban list. Now, on the list, they got rid of the Ayame before it was even released. This created a discussion on whether or not it's good practice for Bushiroad to be restricting these cards before they're released. I think it's definitely on case-by-case basis. This honestly had to go. There are certain cards that correct themselves through the meta, and some of them even just flop. For the Ayame, I think it had to go because it was essentially just an unfair combo that was being exploited. Speaking of summer, Spy Family and HoloLive early releases. At Anime Expo, you could get your boxes for HoloLive Production 2 early, and at Anime NYC, you could get the Spy Family booster boxes and the trial decks early. Now, I did open up a box of HoloLive Production because I live on the West Coast, but I did not get Spy Family for obvious reasons. 15-year anniversary premium booster sets giving new cards to legacy sets. I essentially just explained it with the title of this segment, so There you go. Currently, we have Shauna and King of Fighters. We do have some more upcoming, but the 16th year anniversary of Weiss Schwarz is coming up, so they better give us those series soon. The New Year stream is coming up. Hopefully, they give us something there. Zero no Tsukaima, come on. Power-up sets in English. 7 years later. This year, we got 3 power-up sets that were released in the Japanese edition of Weiss Schwarz that we never got in English. These did have an early release last year, yeah, still 2023. Last year in 2022, but they were officially released in March. We have Haruhi, Log Horizon, and Kill la Kill. Now these are more for like collectors, not super much for players because who's playing Haruhi in the year of our Lord 2023? Side note, we are also getting Spy Family the Meister set, so we might be getting Meister sets back. Competitive card games, not really doing that well. Oh Lord. So last year's recap, I talked about how Weiss Schwarz is getting a lot more competition in the card game sphere, specifically the anime licensing card game sphere. More of these games means less series coming to Weiss Schwarz. So, how's that turning out? Osika isn't doing well. If there's a series in Osika, it's probably coming to Weiss Schwarz or already in Weiss Schwarz. Rebirth for You is also not doing super well, and Bushi Road is announcing a new TCG in the New Year stream very soon, so yeah. Union Arena is doing okay. The major Bandai trading card game is One Piece and Digimon. There have been reports of some Union Arena booster boxes going half off of MSRP literally 1 week after they were released because no one's buying them. I feel like I'm the only one that knows what Roboko-san is. Shadowverse, good on you. But it's a Bushi Road property, so like, whatever. Shadowverse is doing extremely well. There were 36 people at the California Regional. But still, they're doing great in terms of sales. That's the word. Oh, Build Divide! I've completely forgot. Build Divide. Build Divide hasn't done much in its collaboration sets. It's not as consistent as I thought or like anybody else has thought. So in short, Weiss Schwarz is doing fine. Otani is going to the Dodgers. So RDR told... oh my god, it's fucking stupid. Friend of the channel, RDR, told me to put this one in here. So this is his words, not mine. So this is unironically good for Weiss Schwarz because more Japanese otaku will be visiting LA and finding out about our great Weiss Schwarz scene. Also, the cute Japanese girls are going to be visiting. All right, again, this is what RDR told me to write this down. Friends of the channel making tops at BCS. Space Cowboy got 4th place in Texas. 212 Dad got 1st place in Mexico. Math Major John got 1st in California. And friend of the channel Dewey got 2nd place in California. Congratulations, everybody. I am expecting vlogs from the 2 of you that are going to Japan. Have them on my desk by the time y'all come back, okay? Weiss Schwarz Simulator Update 0.5. If you're not in the know, there is an automatic Weiss Schwarz simulator, similar to YGO Pro or Project Ignis. This is unofficial, so Bushi Road, if you're watching, skip this segment. Don't ignore this part. Either way, with the newest updates, they have added all of the English titles. So if you want to playtest before you go hard on a set, this is a great way to get some practice in. Keep up the good work, all of y'all. Bushi Road Monthly Magazine finally ending. Unfortunately, the Bushi Road Monthly Magazine will be discontinued in the coming year. They're going to find different avenues so they could still have the manga going. Thank God Asuka Sensei still has a job somehow. Either way, no more PR cards, early reveals, posters, none of that. It does suck, and I am going to attempt to purchase the last issue to commemorate its existence. Now, these next ones are less trading card and Weiss Schwarz related, a little more Bushi Road related. Bushi Road is getting into video games. Bushi Road has been a publisher, but they're going to be getting more into developing these games. They do have the Maid Dragon game here already released. It's up on Steam. It's a pretty decent game. But coming out, there's the Mushoku Tensei game, Goblin Slayer, and a Hunter x Hunter fighting game. Now, people are already concerned about the Hunter x Hunter game because of the small budget and the smaller team. That means it's gonna suck, essentially. Either way, they're going from card games to gacha games to console games, and I will play all of them to find out how they are. Bushi Road using AI to translate manga. This is more of a breaking news segment, but I think it's still important to include it here. Bushiroad is going to be releasing some English manga titles at the same time as the Japanese editions of the manga. The way that they're going to be achieving this is through AI. Now, this can be used in other mediums, not just manga, that way they get more products to us a lot sooner. If they're going to be doing this for the manga, they're definitely going to be doing this for the trading cards as well as the video games. Needless to say, the response from the fans has been negative. I mean, I just hope that they have like someone still employed to look over the translations and hopefully make the sentence structures and the translations like make sense. But if we're judging it from like how they're treating the trading card stuff, some stuff is probably gonna slip through the cracks. Craft Egg no longer working on Girls Band Party. Now, Craft Egg essentially made like the whole ass game, and unfortunately, they're no longer going to be working on the game. So Bushiroad is going to be handling everything. Poor dudes. Hopefully, they're able to work on a new game that will get them back on their feet. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Bushiroad is going to be working on video games, so this is just like a way for them to get an in-house development team going on to their games. So also, this means that we are not going to be getting our precious VAs saying Craft Egg anymore. Sad. And there we have it. Some important and notable things that have happened in the world of Weiss Schwarz in 2023. Unrelated to any of this is that I essentially got a real job, like an actual salary job. If you're wondering why I've been sporadic on my live streams and not making that much like Weiss Schwarz content, that is why. I've worked super hard to get this job and I'm fortunate enough to be employed. Also, I got a girlfriend. She's great. Hi, honey. So I've been working on budgeting my time and I'm going to be picking up the slack in the coming year. So that being said, let me know in the comments below what I missed because I had to round up the entire year. Obviously, I missed something. So thank you all for sticking around this year and let's make next year an even better one. Take care, everyone. Happy New Year. Love you all. See y'all in the next one. Peace.